All right, so after that relaxing interlude, many thanks to the Yukari channel for that follow. I do appreciate that. Let's get back into the swing of things, huh? All right. So here we are in Unity. We're looking at our game, 2D. Twitch makes games. Okay, so what we have so far is a splash screen, which after 10 seconds transitions to the main menu screen. So this is super basic. There we go. There it is. So we also want it to transition when we click a button. So we're going to use void update, and this is good actually. It's nice that we have used this to main menu function, because now we can use that main menu function in the update. So we're just going to like get any key and then operate from there. Oh, let me click tweet on that tweet. There we go. Awesome. Beautiful. I did just tweet out that the stream is live for another 45 minutes or so. We're going to end around 9:30 my time. So maybe, hopefully by then, we're going to have the entire game flow working. We're going to have the Whoa, hey, check that out. Jendin. Thank you very much for the subscription. I really appreciate that, my friend. I'm really glad that you found the stream valuable to you. So huge shout out, high five to you. Awesome. So yeah, but hopefully by the end of the next 45 minutes, we're going to have the entire game flow actually working, because we're learning how to do this and we're getting much faster at it as time goes on. So key, any key. Wildcat 2X Gaming. Thank you very much. So we're looking at the input function, and I think we're looking at get button. Get button down, get button up, get key. Holds down the key identified by name. Get mouse button. So if input.anyKey equals 1, if input.anyKey down equals 1, then we'll go to the next scene. I think that's going to be it. Let's give it a try. If input.anyKey down equals 1, and then we're going to just call that same function to main menu. Boop boop. Okay, save it, and then what have I done? I've put an extra parentheses. Save it, F8. The equals operator cannot be applied. What? Why? Do you need the equals 1? Nope, that's what it is. Elithrill is totally true. Totally right. Equals 1 is not necessary. Is any key down a function? Any key down is a method that returns the value of the any key down variable. If any key has been pressed down during this frame, then any key down is true. If it has not, then any key down is false. The if statement, since the if statement is already a Boolean variable, we don't need the comparison. We can just say, hey, this already evaluates to true. Cross Stave says it's making me look like a regular Foolean. All right, good. So let's take a look at this. We're going to go back to Unity. Now I'm going to go to the GameFlow controller. I'm going to make this be 1,000 seconds. 10,000. Play. Okay, so this is just going to take forever. 10,000 seconds. Or, boop. Oh my god, it's so good. Look at that. We are starting to really get through this. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, a Boolean is a variable that returns either 1 or 0, and 1 is true and 2 is false. And it's just a logic gate. So if this is true, then we're going to do this stuff. If this is false, then we're going to skip all this stuff. So for every frame, update is called once per frame. We check and we say, is any key down, yes or no? If yes, go to main menu. If no, skip going to main menu. Done. Chrysander, thank you for hanging out, my friend. I really appreciate you hanging out in chat, having fun with me for a little bit. 2 is false. Interestingly enough, those of you making snide jokes in chat about numbers, any number other than 0 is true. So if you have an integer and you're evaluating it as a Boolean, then any number that's a positive or negative number that's not 0, any number that's not 0 is true. 0 is false. Yeah, Falfun is just pointing that out in chat. It depends on the programming language. Some of them accept many numbers. Okay, good. We're done with the splash screen. We're done. We've done it. Good job. We don't actually want that to be... We're going to make that be 10. Okay, save that scene. Save scene, save project, whatever. Cool. All right, so now we can wait for 10 seconds, and then we'll go to the main menu scene. Ta-da! Or we can input any input, including mouse clicks. Click, and it'll take us to the next scene. There we go. So now we want to work on this main menu. If we click the quit button, we want to be able to quit out of the game. We just want to stop it. If we click the start button, we want to go to the game scene. Okay, so now we're going to have to attach these scripts to buttons. So here we are, main menu. All right. I want to take that canvas and I want to make it, or I want to take that background. Let's check these values. I'm going to take these from the splash so that we have the same color background. So I'm just going to, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I'm just going to print screen that, paste it into here. Oops. New, enter, paste. Okay, 29, 44, 68, 5. So all I'm doing right now is I'm making the background for the main menu, the color back there, be the exact same as the background for the loading screen for the splash screen. So main menu, I'm clicking that to bring that up. This was 29. I've copied and pasted 44, 68. It's on my other monitor. 68 and 5. And that's the color. Done. So now when we click play, the background, same exact color. Okay, great. Easy peasy. Can I make Overwatch? I wish I could make Overwatch. That game looks so smooth. Blizzard, they're just so good at making games. My God, they are good at making games. Farganautic is tired and confused, but going strong. Good job, Farganautic. Keep it up. We've only got another 35 minutes to go, and then we'll be fine. So, okay, so these buttons, right? They have an on-click event down here in the button script, and this comes default. It's attached to buttons automatically as a component. So we could add a function on click, and what we want to do is we want to make another object that we can put in here. See, it's asking for an object right here, and then we can call a function on that object. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a game flow control main menu object. Create empty. Game flow control main menu object. That is under our main menu scene, of course, because we want everything under that folder. Now we're going to add a script component. We're going to create a new script called game flow ctrl main menu. Same naming convention that we were using earlier. Linlin98, I am doing very well, and I am very happy with the way that my stream has developed. Thank you. And just so y'all know, major shout outs to Daniel, the JP's graphics guy, Visible Speech on Twitter. He's the guy who did all of my overlays, and I think they look really nice. Twitch makes Overwatch. All right, so this is pretty simple. We've got the game flow control main menu object. We're going to drag it in here and say, like, okay, when we click the start button, we're looking at the game flow control object, and we're going to try to find a function. So we need to define a function, of course, so we're going to go back into MonoDevelop. Let's open that up. Okay, so this is our old script, GameFlow Control splash, and now we're working on GameFlow Control main menu. Oh, what is it? Oh, okay, whatever. Okay, so same thing, start and update, but we don't want to use either of those, right? We want a new function. Now this function, we don't need to get anything back from it. It's not a function that does math and then tells us an answer. It's not a function that gives us a result that we take and then use elsewhere. So it is a void function. Void means that it doesn't return any variables of any types. If we wanted a function to return a number, say if we wanted a function that returned the number of times the button had been pushed, we wouldn't call it a void. We would call it an int function, whatever. But this is a void function, so we're starting void to game. We don't take anything, so this is where we could define arguments that the function takes. So we would say int arg1 bool arg2, and then within the function, if we did that, we would want the function to do something with arg1. So arg1 ++, for example, and then if arg2 foo. Whoops. Whatever. We would do something. So like if we wanted, we could pass arguments into this function for the function to use. But we're not going to do that because we don't need to pass this function anything. All we need to do is we need to say application.loadLevel, and we want it to load the level game. Is that the scene? Yeah. Game. That's all we're going to do. So now we've got a function called toGame, and what it does is it sends us to the game function, or to the game scene. So, okay, we've got button start. So we have the button, the start button. When we click the start button, in runtime, we look at the GameFlow Control main menu object, and we want to access some function. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure that we need to do something else. Game Control main menu, GameFlow Control main menu, here it is. Yes. Okay, so the reason that our function isn't showing up here is because it's not a public function. Dalen9, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your hanging out. Good luck tomorrow at university. I hope you get enough sleep in the next 5 hours. Always appreciate your hanging out with us. All right, so we need to go back to MonoDevelop, and we're just gonna make it public. public void to game. Public things are things that are visible outside of this space. Oops, we'll build it as well. Okay, so now we can go back here, we can go to game flow control main menu, and then we can see toGame is a function that we can call on click. All right, so that's it. We're done. We can go here, click, done. We're in the game. Easy. So this is super awesome. Now we can go to the splash screen, and we've got Twitch Makes Games up. We can click, we go to the start or quit button, whatever. Like maybe we want some sort of name up here. Hey, that's a great thing that we should definitely look at doing. We can click start, and then we're in the game. Super awesome. I should totally hit up Quill18 for some kind of game dev streaming collab thing. Maybe so. I didn't know Quill18 did game dev streaming. With two of us working on it, we would be able to do more. Certainly. I had no dings, by the way. You're asking in chat. Awesome. Okay, so let's look back at what we're trying to do. Okay, so splash screen to main menu, we've done. Done. Look at that. Main menu to game, we're working on that. Now, on pressing start button, okay. Let's put this over here, but I'm going to add a card. Main menu quit functionality. Okay, so technically we're done with that. We're going to move on. We're going to do game to main menu. So this is the most complicated. When we hit escape in the game, we want to bring up a UI of some sort. We want that UI to have two buttons. We want that UI to have continue and quit. And when we click quit, we want to go back to the main menu scene. Okay. So we've done the splash. We've done main menu. I'm going to save the scene, save project. Let's just save everything forever. And then we're going to go to game. Okay, so we've got the game scene. It's going to be exactly the same sort of thing. We're going to rename this. And actually, we're just going to delete it. Delete. Scripts, game flow. What? Oh, yes. We want to move that into the scripts folder. Scripts. Game flow gets deleted. And while in the escape menu, it needs to pause the game. Ooh. Evil Bunny, hello, hi. Welcome to the stream. We're building a game. Right now, all we're doing, Evil Bunny, is building the main menu flow. So just to give a quick demonstration to our friend Evil Bunny, let's save. Here's what we've got. This is our game right now. Twitch Makes Games. So this screen either waits for 10 seconds or we can press a button to advance to the next screen. Uh-oh. What's happened? Did we break it? And how? Oh, no. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, we totally just deleted the scripts folder entirely. Oh, brutal. Okay, so now we have to redo work. Create folder, scripts. But this is going to be easy because we've already done it. I wonder if anybody noticed me completely deleting all of the work that we've done. Okay, create. Whoops, that's not what I want. No, there's no undo. It even warned me. It was like, you can't undo this. C# script. So game flow. This is splash. Create C# script. Game flow main menu. All right, splash. Slow clap. It might be in the recycle bin. I wonder. Let's take a look at that really quick. Let's see if it's in my recycle bin. Oh, Jendon, did I shout out you? I think I did. I don't think it is. I'm looking through my file folder, but I don't think it is. That's fine. This is going to be super quick to rebuild. We've already done it. We know how to do it. I was trying to show you, Evil Bunny. It's true. It's true. Okay, so when we are in the splash screen, GameFlow controller is using the splash screen. Okay, so really quickly, just to go through the entire setup again, we're going to learn how to do this so well, chat. I'm going to scroll that up. Okay, so we got a public variable, public float. A float is a number that can have decimal points. Public float time to wait equals 10.0f. So we've preceded the float with a value. As start, we are going to, what did we use? Invoke to main menu is the name of the function that we're going to invoke, and we're going to invoke it after time to wait seconds. Okay, great. So now we need to make a to main menu function. Void to main menu. It doesn't take any arguments, and all it does is application dot load level main menu. And also every update we're going to look at input dot if, and remember all this, input dot any key down. If that's true, we are going to call the to main menu function. So this is how quickly you can do this if you know what you're doing. So, okay, here we go, back here to the main menu, play it. Okay, now if we click, we go to the main menu. Easy, done. Also, if we wait 10 seconds, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. Ta-da! Okay, great. Now, GameFlow, this is main menu. When you're at the main menu, we have a function called public void to game parentheses parentheses application dot load level quote game. Save. Whoops, totally forgot the parentheses there. And now that needs to be there. Okay, much better. Save it, build it. No errors. Okay, so now we can play again. Oops, nope, not quite yet. We need to actually go to the scene. Main menu, save. Okay, so now we're looking at this start button. Button start is looking at the GameFlow controller. The GameFlow controller needs to look at this script. Oops, which one? Okay, we're gonna wipe that down. So this is the main menu GameFlow. There's the script. Okay, button start, looking there. GameFlow main menu to game. Cool. Save it all, click play. Now if we click start, we go to our main, we go to our game scene. So the total flow that I was trying to show Bunny, because I was trying to show off because we're super cool, is we have a splash screen with Twitch Makes Games on it. We click a button and we go straight into the main menu. If we click quit, currently nothing happens, but if we click start, we go into the game. Ta-da! So there you have it. In 3 minutes, we reset up what it took us an hour and a half to do the first time around. And a big shout out to Leaf Cena. Okay, so now what we're doing next, we need a new script. Create C# script called GameFlow game. Okay, so this is the GameFlow that we're going to be using in game. So we can pull that up. So when we hit the escape key, we want to do something. We want to open a UI element. So we probably need a UI element. Let's create a UI canvas. Canvas, and we're going to call this pause, CVS pause menu. Okay. Event system, event system, event system. That's part of the canvas. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to create a empty game object, and I'm going to call it pause menu. Whoops, that flipped my screen again. I noticed it that time. Odemchen, if you want to make games, Unity is probably not the easiest to pick up. It's pretty easy, but it's powerful because it's a professional software that game companies use to make professional games. So it's got a little bit of a learning curve. If you want something a little bit easier, you might look at Stencyl, S-T-E-N-C-Y-L, or Game Maker, both of which are simpler. If you want to go even simpler, then you could look at something like RPG Maker, which lets you make classic 2D JRPGs. And that would get you started with the basics of logic. And yeah, Memory Code Games, shout out. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Okay, so we got the pause menu folder. So this is the canvas. We've got the canvas. So the pause menu canvas has 2 buttons. Check it out. We've seen this structure before. Button, button. Okay, so this button is btn continue. This button is btn quit. So the text here is going to say quit. Oh, Leaf Sienna 13, huge shout out for that sub. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm delighted that you're finding the stream educational and valuable enough to consider subscribing. Thank you. Continue. Great. So this is... Now this is interesting, right? Because we want it to be on the camera, so we're gonna make it be on the main camera. And then we've got button continue. It's gonna be up here. Yeah, continue button and quit button, just like previously. But we don't want it to be there all the time. So right now, if we click play, we've got it there all the time. But we want it to not be active when we start. So, like, I wonder how to activate and deactivate canvases. HyperElf says they will definitely check out Stencyl. Cyan Slinky says we should probably only have 1 canvas and then add panels. Let's take a look at this. Panel. What? Delete. CVS pause menu. Can we add a panel to that? Panel? Why is it not? What? That's really weird. Pause menu, panel, panel. I don't know. So yeah, maybe we want to do it that way. Cena's asking me about Nightbot. I wonder what's up with Nightbot. Let's click join. There we go. Nightbot has joined the channel. Hooray! So we can remove the image of the panel and then just toggle the panels. This is going to be tricky. This is going to be tricky, chat. Only because I've never done it before and I don't know how to do it, so we're just like making things up, which is totally fine. Yeah, so let's see. Maybe we don't need the pause menu button. Canvas game UI. Okay. And then we want some panels. Panel. 2 panels under this canvas. And button quit and button continue are both under panel 1. This is going to be panel pause. And then we're going to have panel game UI. And just so that we have something here so that we can see it, I'm going to put a button under panel game UI so that it's there. Delete that other canvas. And we're going to call this button in game. Okay. So then we'll add some text that says in game. Okay. Cool. So if we click play, what are we going to see? Nothing really. Why is that? Screen space, camera, camera, camera. Right. So time to do a little bit of Googling. I've got a sneeze building. There we go. Oof. Panel. Default controls, create panel. Create panel. So, create button, image, panel. Interesting. Unity class for creating default implementations of built-in UI controls. Panel. How's it going, John Graywood? I'm having a good time. We've done some good stuff here tonight. Open file panel displays the open file dialog and returns a select open folder panel. Displays the open folder. I think I would like to look at the UI stuff. UI behavior. Turns true if the game object and the component are active. Okay, so there's some way to enable and disable. Protected functions, on enable, on disable. Enabled public functions. Is there an enable? Get static functions, destroy, instantiate. I would expect there to be an enable. On enable. On enable. Enabled is active and enabled. Enabled, enabled, enabled. Interesting. Set active. Sorry, Hyrule Spy. Yes, no, now Nightbot is blocking links. Yep. Let's see. I'll go to Nightbot and permit links for now. Everything seems to be pretty cool in chat. So link, timeout, disabled, save changes. Okay. Nightbot is no longer filtering links. Wake is active is destroyed. Canvas group changed. Canvas hierarchy. Game object dot set active. Game object base class set active activates and deactivates the game object. Okay, so set active false, set active true. Okay, so right, I think we can use that. I think so. Let's take a look at this. So we're gonna need 2 game objects. So let's call it game object pause menu, pause panel, and game object game panel. And these are gonna be public. So so that we can drag and drop in there. Oops. Do I know any programming languages? You're seeing as much programming as I know. What I have done more is visual scripting. So in Unreal, in Kismet, and for Funcom, when I worked on The Secret World, I scripted bosses with a visual scripting language that was very similar to Kismet. So I'm generally familiar enough with logic and scripting and programming concepts to be able to do that. Ammunition gave me a shout out on her stream, 3Lip. That's amazing. What for? That's awesome. Ammunition was super cool. Super cool lady. Yes. So we're taking these objects, these game objects. Okay. So yeah, we want some sort of a game flow. Game flow game. And add a script. Game flow game. Great. So now we've got pause panel game object and a game object. So pause panel game panel is panel game UI. Pause panel is panel pause UI. Canvas renderer material. Interesting. She's doing SingStar, and she said that I'm a classically trained singer, and she only took 2 weeks worth of lessons. She has a lot of natural talent, if that's the case. Ammunition sounds professionally trained as a pop singer. She sounds great. 100%. There's a stream delay, Chronic Coma. There always is on Twitch. It's the nature of the beast. Okay, so we've got these two panels, but for some reason neither of them seems to be active right now. Let's figure that out a little bit. So at start, we want to pause panel dot set active false and game panel dot set active true. Clever Illusion, thank you for the follow, my friend. Hope you're finding the stream tonight interesting and informative. Hi, geeks. Ms. Chaotica knows a ton of musicians and singers that are programmers. Music, math, and programming have a lot in common. Yeah. Oh, sweet baby. Oh my god, she just flopped straight down onto her belly. Hang on, we're gonna show this. Check it out. Oh my gosh. Belly time. Rubbing that belly. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, chin rubs. Oh my gosh. So good. All right. With that, we can go back. Okay, so that's good. Maybe it'll do something. Let's find out. No. So the panels aren't displaying anything. There's no errors or anything in the console. Panels aren't displaying anything, and I wonder why. Why is this button not showing up? All right, I'm going to Google panels. Unity UI panel. Unity UI tools, panes, panels, and windows. Oh, it's a video. I don't want to watch a video. I want to read it. What class is a panel? Accessing a panel. Game object, yes. Game object.setActive should work. Maybe I need to look into canvas groups, fading canvas or panel. That's a little bit advanced. You need to add a canvas group component to a game object and have all other UI elements as a child of that object. Okay, so maybe canvas group component. Interesting. Wait, I added that to the button. I don't want it on the button, on the panel. Add component, canvas group, and then panel pause, add component, canvas group. Maybe that'll help. Let's see what chat's saying. You're storing them as game objects. You're storing it disabled. You just need to re-enable the object. Am I? How are they? Re-enable the switch on game UI, game object. Oh, the whole canvas is off. No duh. Lol, I am terrible. Okay, so there's definitely something there. It's not quite what we were expecting, because what we were expecting is a button that says in-game, but now we're starting to get somewhere. Panel game UI. Why are we using this source image? I would like to not use that source image. I don't think I want an image at all. Now pause, not using an image. Wow, what? What is going on? Let's do 0, 0, 0. Now pause, 0, 0, 0. Canvas game UI, main camera. Wow, what is going on? Something is scaled crazily. These panels are scaled to 75 times normal size. In camera? Okay, so what is going on? Yeah, Dilio, I do want to put the chat up in that blank space above my camera. I just haven't set it up yet. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I've never used panels before, so this is entirely new to me. If I click play, what happens now? Ah, okay, in game. Okay, that feels good. That feels good to me. Main camera. All right, good, 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 good. Okay. Here we go. So in-game button. Boop. We're just gonna move that to the center of the screen. And then button quit, button continue. So that's super massive, huge massive. I wonder why. Maybe I just need to do that as well. There we go. Okay. Panel pause. Button quit, button continue. So quit. Come here, and continue will be just above it. And I'm just sort of making this up right now because we can't see it for some reason. Not entirely sure why. But I think we're going to be able to figure this out fairly quickly now. Click the fourth view mode to do UI edits. The fourth view mode. What do you mean, the fourth view mode? Whoa. Okay, so in GameFlow game, why is all this? That's -10, event system. Pose Z is 90. Why is that? Why is that 90 and why can't I change it? Strange. The button's in the top left. Ah, that. So yeah, I don't even know what the view mode is. Yep. For some reason. Yeah, okay, so I can see those button sort of nodules hanging out here. But I don't know where the actual buttons themselves are. Yeah. All right. Well, what I want to do is I want to get into the game flow. And when input dot get key down, and what do I want? Yes, key code dot escape. Yep. So if input dot get key down, key code dot escape. So if the escape button is pressed down, do some stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause panel. Oh, actually, we're going to game panel dot set active false, and then pause panel dot set active true. Save. Oops, let's build. Let's build it. Build successful. Okay, play. We're in game. If I hit escape, so it's doing a thing, but it's not showing me the buttons. Why? Let's go to the scene. And so that button is where? Where is that button in relation to the thing? Its scale is tiny. Oh, that's so weird. So somehow scale got all screwed up on these things. Button continue 111. So there you go, debugging for you, ladies and gentlemen. Panel pause. Let's take a look at these. All right, there we go. Now we can see the in-game button, which is at, let's say, 0, 0, and 0. Sure. And now I want position X to be 0, Y to be 0 as well for quit. Continue will be 0, and position Y will be 50. Whoops, not 250, 50. Okay, now we can click play. We're in game, we hit escape. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing good, we're doing good. Okay, all right, we are so close to completing our game flow. I'm not gonna stop until we're done. So I want to be able to click continue to be able to go back to the game. So, okay, so when we click the continue button, we want to add a function, runtime only. We go to the GameFlow game and we're gonna run a function that flips that back around. So we need a function to do that. So public void to game. I think this should be fine. So actually, we could just make these both be functions. So I'm going to just copy that down here, and then I'm going to say to game, parentheses, and then public void to pause, and we'll grab that. We'll put pauses there. Okay, and then if we get the escape key code, then we're going to pause. Okay, and then we need one more, which is public void to main menu. And then that's application dot load level main menu. And that's all. Save it all, build it all. Build successful. Okay, that's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so when the game starts, we go to game. If the game pauses, we go to pause. If we hit escape, the game goes to pause. If we click the continue button, we're going to call to game. If we click the quit button, we're going to call to main menu. Okay, we've got it all set up. So continue button, we're going to go to GameFlow game, continue. Oops. What is going on? Maybe I need to save scene, save project, take this, save it, build it. Okay. Continue button, GameFlow game, no function, GameFlow game function. There we go. So when we hit continue, we're going to game. Okay. When we hit quit, we're doing the same sort of thing. We're using the GameFlow game object. We are going to GameFlow game, and we are going to main menu. Okay. Save it all. Let's play. We are in game. Clicking the in-game button doesn't do anything because we're just going to do some stuff here. We're going to have a whole menu where we're actually looking at things and doing things in-game. If we hit escape, we can either continue or quit. Now, here's another thing, right? We should be able to hit escape again to go back, right? So let's set that up because that's not going to be hard. If we click continue, we're back in game. If we hit quit, we're there. We can start. Look at that. Guys, we got it all set up. I love it. Okay. Super cool. It's so good. We are so close, and we're not going to stop just yet. We are going to, what did I say I wanted to do? I wanted to be able to hit escape again when you're in the escaped mode. Okay, so yes, to pause. So we want a state. We want a bool game paused equals 0. So we're starting with a Boolean called game paused, and we're calling it equals 0, and we're just going to say when we call to game, we're going to say game paused equals 0. When we call to pause, we're going to say game paused equals 1. So when we are paused, yes, the bool is true. And then if input.getKeyDown escape and and game paused. Here's what we're going to do. If game paused is 1, then the game is paused. If we press escape while the game is paused, we don't want to go to pause, we want to go to game. Else we go to pause. Okay, I think that's going to do it for us. Nope. Constant value 0. Oh, false. I'm so used to using zeros and ones as bools. There we go. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. If we are paused and we hit escape, then we're going to unpause. Oops. Something funk's happening. I wonder why. So, what's going on? Because it runs else all the time. Right. Else if input dot get key down key code escape and not game paused. I think that's going to do it for us. Okay, we're in game. Escape, 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 escape. check it out. We can go to a pause menu and we can escape out, and we can go to the back to the main menu. We can start the game. Cool. Okay, so just to recap everything that we've done today, thank you to everybody in chat who has helped with this. It's awesome. Thank you very much. I know that for some of you, this is probably kind of like pulling teeth. For those of you for whom it's not kind of like pulling teeth, I'm glad that you're here with me for this awesome learning adventure. Let's see the whole game that we've got so far, from the beginning to the end. First, I'm going to save the project. I'm not going to delete my scripts folder. Here we go. We play the game, Twitch Makes Games. It's going to sit there for 10 seconds or until we press a key. Okay, well, we can start the game. We're in the game. If we hit escape, we can either continue or quit. If we quit, we go back here, we start the game. If we continue, we do that. If we hit escape again, we do that. Totally slick. All right, y'all. That is all for tonight. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, Tempest Gaming is pointing out, it's a good habit to never double-check statements. Try to rewrite that if-else statement with only checking the get key down once. I will put that here. So I'll add a comment, just really quick. How can we only check get key down once? Eliminate redundancy. Whoops. Okay. Yes. Chronic Coma, I just got this snazzy overlay about a week and a half ago. Have I seen or thought about a Discord server? I think that there's one that a couple of Twitch Makes Games fans have already set up. I think you can check the subreddit, reddit.com/r/SilentOsiris. Yes, Rooster Castile just pointed out there's an unofficial voice server for Discord. So, yes. There you go. Fargonautic, it's almost 3 a.m. and they don't understand half of this. Still worth it. All right, well, that's it for this evening's stream, y'all. Thanks very much for hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed the tunes that I had going on in the background. Very soothing music. And I will talk to you all later. Feel free to give me a follow. Wait, other way. Give me a follow. Throw me a subscription if you feel like what I'm doing here is worth your time and money. But if you don't have the cash or if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I understand. I love it. If you're a lurker, if you're just hanging out in chat, if you talk, if you help with the streams, if you follow, or if you don't, it's all wonderful. I am going to find someone to host so that you lovely people can get sent over there. Let's see. Who's live and who would benefit from a host? So JP is playing Overwatch, but he's got 3,000 viewers, so I'm going to send you all to my friend Inspector Beans, a woman here in Montreal who I follow, and she is well worth your attention. So, Anne is also apparently still singing. Let's see. Host Inspector Beans. And I will totally go visit Anne as well.